Hello friends, this is Sandeep Chatterjee once again. I welcome you all to Amazing Agile. Amazing Agile is a platform where I try to bring some new topics related to Agile so that you can learn something and get benefit out of it. Today's topic is Sprint Retrospective, a challenge for Scrum Master. You can ask a question, why challenge? It's a regular sprint activity or it's a regular ceremony. So today's topic is I will first discuss about the importance of the retrospective meeting, how it is done, when it is done, and after that I will tell what are the challenges that a Scrum Master has. So let's start. So the why it is important. The important is we are delivering the agile project or a software within a 2 to 3 weeks. That means our time is very less and we have to deliver most of the value added product within this short time frame. So our rework is not acceptable. So that means that rapidly changing market technology and we need a cutting edge, so a single mistake cost us heavily. Shrinking the time to market in the product. That means you have to deliver as soon as possible. So in this case, if you want to do some rework, are definitely going to have a problem. So we have to think about not only the delivery, we also think about the process behind it. How we are delivering it. Is there anything we can change the process so that we can better deliver it on time, faster, and with the customer satisfaction. So this is a lesson learned for each sprint activity. That means we are delivering it. Maybe we have some problems, some issues, something we learned, something we could have done better. So here is a lesson learned activity that we're going to do in this meeting. And the purpose of this is to examine the current sprint status. And there is a potential improvement activity can be bring. Team members raise the issues and the fact during the past sprint and discuss with how it can be better. And this leverages on the empirical process control. I hope all of you know what is empirical process control, because this is a very important activity and this is always a hot topic in the interview or a exam question. So what is empirical process control? You know that Scrum is standing, or I should say Agile is standing in 3 pillars, very important pillars. What are those? Transparency, inspection and adaptation. So Agile is stand on these 3 pillars. So how does it work? So in the empirical process control, it's a cyclic order. It is working as a transparency, inspection and adaptation. How? So if you go for the retrospective meeting, you analyze what went during the sprint. Here in this meeting, you discuss about what went well, what did not go well, what new thing can be brought, something like that. So if suppose a new process came, whoever is suggested in past, and if you think it is acceptable, you can make it as a practice and start doing it henceforth. And there is a practice that you think that you may be not required or maybe something you need to revisit again, you can continue for the next sprint and see what is the value add. And if you think in the inspection that is not value add, just simply eliminate the process. So this way, this is called the empirical process control. It is in a cyclic order for each sprint and it is use the Deming wheel, that is plan, do, check, act, or in a Scrum perspective it is plan, do, check and action. So when to conduct? The Scrum Master conducts the feedback session among themselves, how the sprint went that we discussed, and it is predominantly done by the last day of the sprint after the delivery. Scrum Master facilitate and ensure that the meeting is scheduled at the required with the required logistics and all the required parties are present in the meeting. So how does the retrospective meeting work? As I told, this is a feedback session. That means everyone gives their own feedback, especially for the team. Scrum Master has so many feedbacks he can give in, but first he listen to the team what the feedback they are giving. That feedback is only being used during the Scrum project. And after the Scrum project delivered during the retrospective meeting, the team is discussing with the action with the 3 points. What are those? What went well, what did not go well, and what new things it can brought. So these 3 things are discussed in the retrospective meeting. That is, we are saying called react. And once it is done, a action item comes up. What is action item? Maybe some changes. So how this change is done by the team, and it is going to implement again to the next sprint or scrum cycle, and so on. So this way it is a cyclic action. Every time you will discuss what are the issues we found, or anything, any good thing, any bad thing, and you tweak your process and do it. So you can ask, what is process? Process may be a code review is required as soon as the code developer has done the coding. So you add a new column called code review in your Jira board. That is a process. Or even some process may be like your laptop is not working good, your laptop is old configuration, you need a new laptop because it is getting time to rebuild or anything, so that if you get a faster laptop you can deliver more first, or you can take more stories, something like that. So anything, any non-technical issues. This is no time box meeting. There is the only ceremony that is recommended that you don't need a time box. However, 1 hour is enough. So who are the participants? Participants are here. I have given it 3 way. One is called the avoidant. Do not invite. Next is the optional. Either you can invite or do not invite. And the last one is who will be mandatory to be participating. Who are they? Definitely the Scrum team, because it is their own meeting and it is facilitated by the Scrum Master. Now I put product owner in between these two colors. That means the either optional or mandatory. As per the Scrum framework, it is optional, but my recommendation, as per my prolonged experience, that Scrum Master must invite product owner in the meeting, because product owner is working with the team, so he knows in and out. He has experience completely about the process. So he is the better person who can judge and who can give some own value-added suggestions. So don't forget to invite product owner in your retrospective meeting. So now it's clear. So now who should not be attending? The cross-functional team, other teams, business owner, end user, SME, customer. Why not? The reason is that it is not a deliverable, it is a process improvement meeting. So it is nothing to do with them directly, though it is indirectly related to them, because based on this good process, improved process, we can better deliver to them. But since it is our internal and bit confidential internally, so better don't invite them. Now what and how? Say this is a meeting where the Scrum team is conducting the a retrospective meeting. Maybe this is the product owner who is silently listening but can give us a value-added idea when required. So based on what they are discussing, they are discussing 3 questions only. What went well? So in this 2 or 3 week sprint, what are the good thing you have done other than delivery? So what are the process you follow? I had given a couple of examples. Another example could be that test cases to be written in parallel with the development process, and test case to be reviewed. Maybe it was not an organization process, but you have started doing it. So this is a process to improve. So if the test case is accurate, definitely your testing will be accurate. Correct. So that is what went well, what did not go well. So certain process maybe you did not like it. For example, that code review may not be required for a couple of stories. So that is that you can stop it, because this is not. So some of the story is with a repeated code you have used it. So code review you can eliminate for which is repeated. So that is one of the process. So you can stop doing it, and you can do something better, whatever you can suggest it. And based on that, the Scrum Master brings the action items. The action items for the team, action items for himself, or action items for the organization as well. What is the organization action item? Maybe the laptop to be upgraded. That will go beyond the project scope, right? It is not a deliverable, but it is a required from the system team of the organization. How it is being done? It is being done through tools or some boards. What are those? This is called the simple board. Simple board means if there is a big piece of paper, flip chart paper, where you can make a 4 quadrant, what will go keep doing or start doing, stop doing, or an action item. And in the piece of in the meeting, with some stickies, you can write your suggestions and paste it here, wherever you the quadrant you want to keep it. And based on that, you have a vote. Suppose if it is a first sprint of the project, then there will be many action items, because there are many suggestions comes. People are fully enthusiastic to give the the value added suggestions. So on that time, it is not possible for Scrum Master to address all the action items in one go or in one sprint or next sprint. So in this case, he took the vote, which is the most priority that it can be addressed first. So accordingly, this action items is getting prioritized, and the topmost 3 items are taken care of. So this way, the retrospective meeting is happening, and this board is kept for a while, and maybe the next sprint also this board is getting addressed. Next, another kind of board is available, that is called the starfish. The starfish has 5 questions. Honestly, this is very rarely used in any places. I just discussed in the Scrum meetings or some Scrum conference. I just discussed about it, but it is not widely used. So there are 5 questions. So there are 3 questions are fair enough. So there are 5 questions, more of or less of the process. So you can do, but can avoid something like that. So it will be an overburden for the team. So I recommend to avoid it. There is another board is called the shell point. The shell point is a pictorial representation that it is your boat you're trying to bring to the shore, but you're not able to because of some inclement weather, like there's a thunderstorm, something else. Maybe the current is a reverse side, you're not able to reach the shore. Then the anchor is down, so it is not able to move. So there is something. So my recommendation is don't go with those hassles, because it is some unnecessary getting complicated the things. Instead of the simple board is fair enough. So my recommended, you just know what is this, but don't use it. Use only the simple board. So how the simple board is being used? Now 2 ways. If all of you are at office, then in the office room is a co-located team can conduct this meeting. How? In a conference room which is booked or arranged by the Scrum Master with the stickies and hand, pen and pencil or whatever, and then you have a whiteboard with the stickies, flip charts, markers, everything. So what I discussed in just now, you can write your own thought. You can do it anonymously. You can write your name, and you can put your stickies wherever you think based on that. Keep doing, stop doing, or start doing, and then the action item will be generated. So you can choose the color. Suppose keep doing will be one color, stop doing will be one color, continue doing will be one color, something like that. You can is totally on which there is no any rule defined for that. So what I have to do, the Scrum Master will take the action item. Once the meeting is completed, then it has to be preserved. Now there's another way, is called the distributed team. So now it is a pandemic session, people are working from home, and in a general case, almost 80% cases, most of the project is done in remotely or sometimes in a distributed team. If it is a deliverable to a different country, so different country members are also present. So in this case, in one room activity or co-located is not possible. So how it is done? It is done in an electronic medium. So there is an electronic board is replacing the whiteboard in the one room. How it is done, the electronic media? To some of the websites. There are some websites, ideaboards.com, pointingpoker.com/retro, Gear Reflect, Scatterspoke, or the scrumtoolkit.com. So these are all the website. They provide the free access to their portal where you can conduct the retrospective, and it is you don't even need to register here, and the same board can be accessed everywhere. How? Maybe the product owner or Scrum Master can start the board. Once the board is started, he send the link through email to everyone whoever going to participate, and whoever there in the world, if they can access it on the internet, they can able to reach to the board. So everyone will be in one platform, and everyone can write their own suggestion in the respected board like this here, and it will be here allocated, all will be accumulated here, and once it is done, the Scrum Master with pressing one single button can import it to his own notebook or Word document or Excel. So it's a very easy activity to do that. Now my concern is, even you are not in a co-located, even you are in a co-located, I said that you stop doing the physical board. Why? Because we are in the age of technology. So technology is in our hand. So better to utilize that. So how you're going to utilize? Eliminate the board. The reason is it is a additional hassle for the Scrum Master and the team, because you are going to write in a piece of paper, you are going to paste it here in the board, then the Scrum Master had to jot down everything to the computer in Excel or whatever, and then you have to compile, making the action items, send across to everyone. So additional activity. So instead, if you use this electronic board, so the compilation is automatically done and it comes to the Scrum Master, and Scrum Master can straight away send the report. So it is saving a lot of time, and this is also going to a time room and writing on the stick and pasting is the time consuming. We are in the age of technology, and our each minute is precious. Every minute is precious. So we want to utilize our time for the delivery rather than sitting in the meeting and discuss much. So my recommendation is you eliminate the whiteboard and always use the freely available websites for use your retrospective meeting. Now I would like to say what are the challenges you found. So whatever I discussed, you all are doing it, and you know that this is very nice to see as a presentation form or as a theory or giving the exam, interview or training someone. But if you actually work in the project as a Scrum Master, product owner, you will see what are the challenges actually is conducting this. So let's discuss the challenges one by one, and if you have already experienced it, then probably you will understand what I am trying to say. So same issues are discussed in each sprint. That means the first sprint of the first sprint retrospective, you have a lot of points, and the same points you are taking it as action items, sending to the team and closing it one by one. So if you go to the second sprint, probably it will be little less, because your action items are addressed. There is hardly any new process comes in the process in the sprint, because it's a 3-week sprint. So how many processes you can expect to be coming out in a suggestion? So issues, action items resolves in 2 to 3 weeks. Hence, there is no point to discuss further. So if you're going to the fourth sprint or fifth sprint, you will see hardly any point to discuss. Technical activities over for the retrospective meeting, because it is done in the last time of the sprint. So there is some firefighting, something is going on because some unfortunate situation comes. So people are working on completing the sprint or the technical activities. Some technical issue comes in the deployment, delivery, whatever. So in this case, people do avoid coming to the retrospective meeting because it is a non-technical in nature and maybe it is not involved by the customer. Team has work pressure to complete the sprint. As I told you that the most priority is to complete the sprint, and once the sprint is completed, then only the retrospect can come. So if the sprint is not completed, the time is almost nearing the end, we are at the last day and still there are a couple of stories are alive and not yet done, we have to complete it. Team are working together, working 2-3 hours extra. So on that time, really they don't have time to conduct the retrospective meeting. Scrum team is reluctant to participate with being monotonous, boring. Why? Because the same thing are being discussed every time. If it is fourth sprint, fifth sprint, I told fifth sprint, really don't have a point to discuss. On that time, the senior developer says something. I already spoke. Let the junior speak up. Junior think that already given so many things are discussed. Why to tell something? So the people are keeping silent just to pass the time to complete the sprint or complete the meeting. So that's why it is become very monotonous. Team thinks that the repeated similar meeting doesn't add any value since it is not technical nature and the customer is not involved. As I just discussed this point. So the main challenge is basically you have to bring the enthusiasm among the team to participate in this meeting. If they do not have the enthusiasm, they will not going to involve, so you will not get the value-added suggestions from the team. Team wants to conduct it offline. Why? As in this point, if you see that they are saying that they have to have time to complete the sprint, so they have the stories are open, not yet closed, and they are supposed to deliver it. So they said that we cannot join the time. Send the link, and I will do it offline. But if you send the link, I'm telling you, hardly people will get back to you. So you have to do it upfront. Even the meeting is 15 minutes, right after this completing the sprint, you can make it 15 minutes. It happened if you're using Jira. I saw that the moment you close the sprint, there is an optional pop-up come out. We want to go for a retrospect. You can do the right away in the Jira itself, so that you can save your time. 10 minutes, 15 minutes is fair enough to complete the retrospective meeting if you are on the 5th or 6th sprint or like that in the middle, because you do not have any much point to discuss. product owner is not keen to attend the meeting. As I told, the product owner is a optional attendee. So if it is an optional attendee, product owner is not ready or not keen to come to the meeting because product owner has many other meetings to join it. Maybe the last day he is also involved in the technical issues of the project, so he deliberately trying to avoid it. So it is your job to make him motivate by saying that you are the most senior most person, you are the knowledgeable person. If you join, then people will be motivated and bring up some new idea, and you know the what are the core issue is in the team, and you bring up a new idea for that. So this way, if you can motivate the team and product owner, they will come to the meeting to participate it. Now, lack of enforcement from the top management. Why? Because it is a team level activity, this Scrum project. So top management doesn't get involved. Yes, in case of SAFe or Scale Agile framework, there is another activity is going done in the organization level right after every 12 weeks. That means beside the PI planning, and the another activity is called inspection and adoption meeting. It is nothing but the PI retrospective that is done in the organization level for every 12 weeks or after 4 sprints. So on that time, the top management gets on the input of the suggestions, and the release train engineer is asking the retrospective meeting results or outcome or report from the Scrum Master of the respective Scrum team in every sprint. So that's why it is your job to get the report done every week and give it to the release train engineer if you are in the SAFe environment. Alright, so that is the challenges that I discussed. Now I will discuss how to overcome this challenge. So you have seen the board, you have seen the action items, here the people voted, and the action item generated from the most important or most urgent issues that can be addressed, the top 3, but the remaining also be addressed in the later point of time. So the action items for the Scrum Master is retrospective meeting to be scheduled and circulated in advance so that people cannot avoid it. So it is a recurring meeting. You know that your calendar, suppose you have a 10 sprint. So you are sending a 10 sprint planning meeting. You are sending daily stand-up meeting. So same time you are also sending the recurring meeting invite for the retrospecting as well, so that people can accept it, so that it will be their calendar, so they will try not to avoid it. So after the meeting, consolidate the action item and circulate to all. In case of SAFe, it will be sent to the RT. I just discussed this point. Why circulate it to all? Then the people will get their action items, and you can chase the action items time to time. Discuss the action item in the daily Scrum once a week if the time permits. Here's a very tricky point I have given it, because I said you ask in the daily Scrum meeting, because daily Scrum meeting is only for the 3 questions: what you have done yesterday, what you are going to do today, and if you have any impediments. There are only 3 questions and nothing else. That was the protocol. That means am I asking you to break the protocol? Not certainly. The reason is, if your daily Scrum meeting ends before 15 minutes, if you have 1 or 2 times bandwidth, then you can bring the action items for the team. Hey guys, there is an action item for the retrospective you have. Can you please do it? I can catch you later point of time. I'm just informing. Because daily Scrum meeting where everyone is involved, all the team members are involved. That's why here you can speak it. But if you have time permits, do not exceed the 15 minutes for discussing your retrospective action item. Highlight the action items which are pending. Discuss the usefulness of the process and improvements. That means you have to tell the team why you want this, why this process to be improved, what is the value add. This is a supporting activity and you have to do it. It is not only my responsibility. That means Scrum Master responsibility. Scrum Master is there to motivate you, to give you value-added suggestions, to facilitate you, to be mentor you, but some of the action items it will be done by you, so you have to do it. And if you do it, your delivery will be better and the customer will be happy. Make the meeting shorter. So if you do not have any much point to discuss, maybe I'm talking about the 3rd sprint or 4th sprint and onwards, if there's no point to discuss much, and you also know that based on your experience that all the action items are almost closed and some action items cannot be closed. It also happened. So in this case, you can make this the meeting more smaller than like 15 minutes only, so that people will not get bored, not get monotonous, and they will participate it. But avoid offline. If they said that please send the link, we'll do it later point in time, believe me, they will not going to do that, because it is the human tendency that they will forget it, because if they are not interested. So it is your responsibility to get the retrospective meeting done right after the ending of the sprint and get their feedback. If not feedback, you can use the previous week's feedback also and little bit modify it, because you have to show some improvement. And then you send it to the RT, circulate to everyone, and if the action item is pending, highlight that it is pending, but do not leave the meeting. Encourage the team who has done it to complete it. Pat it. Say that you great job done. Applause to everyone. Just announce in the meeting that this process has been made by this person and it is a wonderful job, and I request everyone to do the same thing, something like that, to encourage the everyone. Encourage the product owner to participate, because product owner is a voice of customer. So the team will think that if the product owner joins, while I will not join. So it is a one tricky point that you should encourage the product owner, the team will automatically join. And the last one is circulate the best practice to the rest of the organization, so that if you find that your team has made a good practice of the process, why not be used for the rest of the organization, so the entire organization get benefited. So these are the points I wanted to discuss. So hope you understand what is retrospective, how it is done, who will be doing, who will be participating, and what are the biggest challenges for a Scrum Master and how to mitigate that issue. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up or like it, and please subscribe my video so that I can make it more video for you. You can learn more from me, and just ring the bell so that you will get to know what is going on and how soon I can bring another video to you, and it will come to your mailbox directly. So till then, stay safe, have a nice day, goodbye.